Welcome to Sterling High School. This is the Varsity Award Show highlighting the 2019-2020 school year, and this is episode 2, The Winter. I'm Jarod Claybourn. I'm joined by Coach Kevin Stewart and Coach Will O'Donnell, and we're going to bring you the winter season for this episode of the Varsity Award Show. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me in this this version of how we are going to recognize our student athletes. As we noted before, this is a varsity award show for all varsity athletes. We do highlight some seniors, but you might not be a senior to be recognized. It's not the banquet that might be recognized at specific teams, but it is something that we do as a school to recognize all of our programs. So I appreciate everybody's participation and contribution to this program. At the end of the episode, we're going to highlight some of the seasoned athletes that were nominated on and voted on by our coaches. So we're going to jump right into it, gentlemen, and we're going to go right into boys basketball. So, Coach, why don't you tell me who are our seniors in boys basketball?
So this year for the boys basketball, they had 3 seniors. They had Miles, Gavin, and Klein.
Yeah, Kaylin. I like Kaylin. Let's talk about Kaylin. Yeah. Coach, you and I were just going through that. So Kaylin's a young man. He's a senior, finishes the year for us. He was cut. I think he played his freshman year.
Correct.
Goes out as a sophomore, gets cut. Works, plays with his buddies, goes out as a junior, gets cut. And then sticks with it and comes out and plays as a senior. And it just is a great testament of faithfulness, of hard working, inspirational really, just to see the joy in him out there on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know he spent countless hours in the weight room after he got cut that sophomore and junior year. You know, I just seen him in there working hard, get stronger, get his core stronger, his vertical. You know, and it's good to show the younger athletes that even though if you get cut, you work hard, you can still improve and make the team, and you know that just shows that coaches are always looking at him too. It's not like he was forgotten here. He was just worked hard. And we live in an instant gratification culture, right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, we get student athletes that might not stay with something just because it doesn't go their way in the beginning.
And I was just going to build on that. I think his story is one that I think every program at Sterling really wants to emphasize and highlight, is that, you know, hard work doesn't go unnoticed. And he worked that freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and finally had that payoff senior year. And that's something I think every coach here notices, is when kids are putting in that hard work and dedication. And
I think he finally got in at the end of the year and scored a couple buckets in, you know, some meaningful games.
It was fun to watch, and the team and the crowd rallying behind him certainly should have been special for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So the boys basketball team goes on to go 13-12 on the season, makes the playoffs. They enter the playoffs as the 11 seed. They go to Delran. I don't think they had the season that they really wanted as most season, but they really came out of the gates very strong, especially behind the junior up-and-comer, which was Antoine Arnett. Right. Antoine really just had a phenomenal season. If you watch him out on the court, he began to dominate right from the beginning.
And I think that's just maturity. You know, he got some time, I think, as a freshman and sophomore, and now junior year he can start to fill a bigger role for that team and really start to make plays when they matter and help carry that team a little bit to some of those wins.
So he's starting to take that leader role.
Yeah.
You know, he's not afraid to take that last shot. You know, he wants the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
So he put his team on his back, and you know, he kind of rode it.
Yeah, it's good, and he had to transition through that. He had to learn through that season, and we had some other great contributors. Gavin Clark, just an amazing athlete that was able to contribute on this team, doing a great job. Want to throw Miles Williams a shout out as a senior, participating throughout his 4 years in a program that I think we're going to see great things continue to come from this program. So we had some all-stars, one all-star in boys basketball, and that was Antoine Arnett, and he might have been one of the top vote getters in the conference.
Yeah.
And he's going to be somebody to look out as first-team All-South Jersey next year if he keeps it up and things like that. You know, he's going to be a tough player.
Good. All right, so moving through is onto girls basketball. And girls basketball has been a dominant program in South Jersey. We really looked for great things from them, and they really didn't disappoint. We had 2 seniors in LaTanya Barry and Marley Sire, but that wasn't all that made up that team. They had the 2 senior leaders that stood by themselves, but there was more to that team than that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you had Nia Holloway, who got injured.
Yeah.
She's been rehabbing with Sean, Klein, her athletic trainer, and I expect her to come back very strong next year as a big-time leader and contributor to the team.
Good. And then we have a family that contributes in a big way.
The Johnson siblings, we should call them, and not just the Johnson twins. You had Tatiana Johnson's the oldest. She was clearly probably the leader of that trio there of up-and-coming stars for the Sterling Knights.
Yeah, Tot is she's a great leader, great young lady to be around. And, of course, the athleticism of her 2 twin sisters just make for a great program. So I think that Coach O'Donnell, Coach Marchese, does a great job building a schedule that is highly competitive. And because they've been so good in the past, teams want to play Sterling. It also pays off as you approach the playoffs in getting a positive seed. So down the road, they actually didn't win a lot of those big games against much bigger opponents, highly ranked opponents. But it did pay off in their run in the playoffs. Right. And they made it to that desired round where they got to face Middle Township again. Yep. But Middle Township, one of the top teams in the state.
Always a tough test.
Yeah. So. Unfortunately, didn't go their way.
Absolutely. You always want to play teams that are better than you. It doesn't get better beating somebody by 50 points. You want to play teams that are going to be compatible and comparable to you.
And back to those seniors, Marley Sire just been a great young lady to watch. Volleyball, basketball, track. She's just been awesome to watch throughout her career. And then LaTanya Barry reaches that 1,000 score mark. Yeah. So her name will be up on the banner in the gym.
I'm sure she's continuing that success at college next year, Manhattan, right?
Yes, correct. She got a full scholarship with them. So congratulations to her for sure. So great job with the Coach Marchese and the girls basketball. And so we had 3 all-stars in them. Can you give me those?
Sure. The 3 girls basketball all-stars were LaTanya Barry, first team, Marley Sire, second team, and Nia Holloway, second team. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, great job, girls basketball. So let's go right into, Coach, your wrestling program that is fun to be around. Lots of young and up-and-coming athletes. I think you're going to talk about how you return so many players. One of the things before you get started I want to mention is that Coach always creates a fantastic schedule, a schedule that he knows that his student athletes can compete in, where we can get opportunities to get some wins, but also build and prepare for the playoffs. So go ahead and take away.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrestling, we had another good year. We were 15-9. This is a 30 in a row with 15 wins. So we are continuing to put together a schedule where we can beat teams and in close matches. So they're not getting blown out. A lot of matches came down to one match, one takedown, 1 point. So that's good. And that keeps the team camaraderie together. Everyone's up. They're cheering. They're for each other. You're in the match. Even if you're not wrestling, you're still in the match. So the one highlight I would say for this year was our playoff match against Collinswood. 2 weeks earlier, Collinswood had beaten us by 28 points. It was bad. We made a couple of coaches got together, made a couple of coaching changes and some moves in the lineup, and we almost beat them. We were down 2 points going to the last match, and unfortunately it didn't turn our way, but to come back from a 28-point route and 2 weeks later, you are within one match of winning your first playoff match since the early 2000s. I really think that showed a lot of our team and our family atmosphere that we have.
Let me just jump in on that. That was a great atmosphere, and Collins was really on their heels. They had no idea what you brought to them in that change of that lineup, and our team, our fans all rallied around it, and it was a great job. It just goes to show, we talked about in our fall episode, how the road to the championship goes through down Woolbrook Road and through Sterling High School, and you'll see that with all of our programs, and I think it continues now with wrestling as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was awesome. It was one of the best matches that I've been a part of were fans and the emotion. And I knew Collinswood was going to bring it, and I knew their fans were going to be loud. And I just knew that if we could build a little bit of a lead, we could get some momentum on our side. And that's kind of what happened. But so we look forward to a lot more next year. That being said, we really we don't graduate too many seniors. So we're going to bring back the 14 starters. We're going to bring back 11 of them. All right, so we're going to lose I think we lose 6 seniors. So that's going to be tough. But a lot of starters, a lot of young kids coming back in. Our 2 big young guns are John Toomey and Jeremiah Davis. Toomey had almost 30 wins this year. Jeremiah Davis makes it to regions as a sophomore, and he had a lot of wins, and he had a win in regions, so it was good. And along with that, Jakor McPherson also made it to the region tournament after not starting the whole year and then coming in at the very end and made a run. So that was really good, and I'm really proud of these young wrestlers coming forward.
Good. And then you had some all-stars, right, this year?
Yes, I did some all-stars. First team wrestling, Casimir Ejanre, Kevin Stubbs, Brandon Sola. And I want to say a little about Brandon Sola. I mean, that kid has put 4 years in. He didn't end the season the way he wanted to, but I just want to give him a shout-out as making a first team all-conference. And
it's huge. Really put the team first in many ways throughout the season.
Yeah. That kid moved multiple weight classes, never complained, basically did everything we said, and was a leader. Just unfortunately didn't make it to the region tournament, which was his goal. But that happens. And our other first team wrestler was John Toomey. Second team, Trayvon Potts, and second team, Jeremiah Davis.
Very good. Congratulations on a great season, and to those seniors and these award winners.
Yes.
So we want to move on to the swim season. We're here with Coach Stewart. A great season again for the swim team. Now the swim team went into a new division this year, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a all co-ed division.
Yes.
Which were a lot of benefits, but also
some negatives as well.
Yeah.
So one weakness that we had, just looking back on top of that co-ed, is we lacked some male talent. All right, we have an abundance of females on our team, but I think we only have 6 males, and they've really stepped up for us this year in some of those competitive meets. I think on the whole, our season really was, swimming's always it's an individual sport disguised as a team sport is kind of how I like to describe it, almost like wrestling,
Right.
where you can have athletes that have that individual success that doesn't necessarily translate into the team success. And I think this year we did have a lot of that individual success, whether we're setting personal records in the pool or whether we're breaking records at Sterling as some of these athletes did. I think there was a lot to be celebrated through this season, and because of that individual success, I think it helps teach athletes to celebrate other people and share in that success. And swimming really can help bring people together when you start to celebrate times and time drops and victories and small things that you can have. We did finish 8-2, so we weren't unsuccessful with the team end of it, but we're always looking for things to celebrate with our team. And a couple people that I just wanted to highlight. Number one, Kaylee Shannon. She was a part of 4 broken records this year. She broke the 50 free with a 25.91. She broke the 100 free with a 56.67. And then a part of 2 relays where she was important, and she anchored those relays down the stretch. Another big performer for me was Tony Klein. He did a 500 where he broke our school record with a time of 5:02.49. It's incredible for these athletes to work that hard and for them to drop that much time, because if we go and look back at some of their times from previous years coming into this season, it was incredible what they were able to accomplish in the pool. And a couple other shout outs that I wanted to do. My seniors, they did a great job. Joe Britt, Colleen Blakelock, they were my captains. They held down the fort. Kiara Roma, she was a part of that relay. Paige Jewell was a big team player, held people accountable, would call them out if they were cheating at practice. Mike Berkeley, Ryan Walker, I don't think they missed a single practice for me all year, and that doesn't go unnoticed, I think, in any program here at Sterling.
And I think it's great that you can have that, all those athletes coming out, and you have 6 a.m. practices.
Yeah.
So to get kids out of bed and motivated to work hard that early in the morning is testament to your ability to connect to these.
Oh man, that's all them.
Kids.
I give all the credit to them getting out of bed, because there are days where I don't want to do it, and to see them that I get the turnout that I do, it just speaks to the dedication that they have, to the will that they want to be there. They want to be with their friends in the pool, and really I just try to make it as fun for them as I can. Those 6 a.m. weight practices, they're not fun. End of January coming up.
And the swim season had a fantastic year again. Thank you, Coach. The All-Stars in that sport are a little bit different based on times, and we're in a different league. We're in a South Jersey Interscholastic Swim League, so we don't have that individual, but we know we had great individual success as far as our record holders and the relays this year. Great job on a great season.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll move on to winter track. Winter track is coached by Coach Jeff McIlvain. And the winter track team is a program, again, it's in a different type. There actually is not a conference. They're just participating in individual events or that are hosted by other schools. And most of their season consists of that over an hour-and-a-half trip over to Toms River at the Bubble. We get a lot of student athletes that are 3-season runners. And so tell us a little bit about the winter track program.
Yeah, I know all the work that those kids put in. To drive to Toms River North every Tuesday, then sometimes on a Thursday, you got an hour-and-a-half drive up there. You're running inside a bubble that's not heated. It's not the best conditions, but these kids, they don't complain. They just go. They go outside, they bundle up, they run.
If you want to talk about dedication, running outside in the winter, that takes a different kind of guy too, to be able to go and do that every day.
Absolutely, just throw on all that gear and stand on that track, and it could be snowing out, frosting. It's tough, but those kids really work hard, and it shows. And Jeff McIlvain and the assistant coaches, Baines, my wife, shout out Carolyn Stroh O'Donnell.
There you go.
So I had to throw her out there.
It's great.
Best coach in the house.
Great staff of coaches that are involved in multiple seasons and can help track these multi-season sports and those athletes to a year-round success.
Absolutely.
So you'll hear that we have names like Sierra James and Demir Key that are going to come up as people that are having success not in just one season but continuing to get better throughout.
And I know all the work that those coaches put in. Sending out stuff on Twitter. They got all their workouts on Twitter all the time. Kids are posting it. I even know driving home after wrestling, I'll still see kids running on the way back up Warwick Road because their practices are still going on.
Yeah.
So they really dedicate a lot of time, especially all those coaches do.
Good.
And just 2 other guys, I just had them in class. I want to give them a big shout out too. Christian Brown and then Larry Lewis were 2 of my students. Told them every day that my mile time was faster than them, so I think they know that to be true.
Very nice.
I believe it.
Good. So we'll talk more about track in our spring episode, but we're going to move on to the cheer program. So the cheer program operates in 2 different seasons, a fall and a winter season, and sometimes that dynamic of that season looks a little different. And in the winter, of course, they're helping with the basketball programs and supporting there under the leadership of Coach Jordan. But I really wanted to note their halftime performance that they do throughout the season at the basketball games.
Oh, I think it's great. They really get the fans going. Even at football games, they get them going. They've come a long way. Their stunts and their ability, their athletic ability has been great. The backflips, the tosses, the throws, their ability to get everybody involved. It's been great. I have a little right up here.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you would like me to read that
Jordan,
from Coach Jordan emailed me this, so she asked if I could give this a read. So the winter season was a great one for Sterling cheerleading. We cheered on both the girls and boys basketball teams at every home game, which was really helped get the fans involved, and especially, like the Haddon Heights home game that we sold out. I mean, those girls were really going all the time. With the guidance of our team captains, Amanda Ware, Renee Cordon, they were able to perform a few new dances and cheers at games. They also, this is a big one, talking about community and family, is they partnered with the Laurel Manor Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center to spread some holiday cheer to residents at Laurel Manor. So they donated socks, candy, goodie bags. They performed some cheers, interacted with the residents there. So it was a great way to give back to their family as part of the winter season.
Yep, very good. And just again, shouting out to Amanda Ware and Renee. I gave them a hard time throughout the year, continuing to up their game in their cheers, and I think they stepped up to that challenge. So thank you to Winter Cheer under Coach Jordan. So at this point in the program, what we do is the Board of Education always wants to recognize our student athletes. And one of the things they do on an annual basis is they approach the coaches and ask the coaches to select 1 or 2 athletes that they want to recognize as outstanding performers for their teams. So we're going to go through those for the Winter Board of Education Awards. Right. So, Coach, why don't you start with boys basketball?
So the Winter Board of Ed Award winner for boys basketball was Antoine Arnett.
Good. And girls basketball?
That was Latanya Berry and Marley Sire.
It's good, the 2 seniors there. Coach, your wrestlers?
Wrestlers were, and these were both my captains, Brandon Sola and Brandon Grace.
Very good. Winter track, you heard our names, Sierra James and Demir Key. I think we'll hear them again. And then swimming, Coach?
Swimming was Joe Britt Simpson and Colleen Blakelock. So congratulations to those 2, and then all of the Board of Ed Award winners.
Yeah, excellent. So then now we're in the winter season. This is the winter show, and we are talking about the winter seasonal athletes. We're going to start off with those that were nominated, again, by their coaches and then selected by the coaches. So we'll start with the most improved athletes, some great names here in the program. So, Coach, why don't you give me those names for most improved?
The most improved athletes, these are the nominations. Mike Ermel, Brandon Grace, Gavin Clark, and Ryan Walker. And the winner for most improved in the winter season was Brandon Grace.
Awesome achievement for Brandon Grace. Young man that had a great fall season with the football program and then continued to work hard in winter.
Yeah, and it's great for Brandon because he played a sport every season. He did 4 years of football, 4 years of wrestling, and played 4 years of baseball. He might not have gotten a varsity letter all those years, but he's one of those 3 sport athletes that we were talking about, found ways to get all the sports in while giving his all to every coach.
It's great. He's really
time management.
Yep, and it's the heart of Sterling athletics is a young man like this. Somebody's willing to get involved, be in multiple sports, and continue to work hard to achieve. Very good. So let's move on. Coach, we have female winter athlete.
So 3 nominees. You had Latanya Berry, Kaylee Shannon, and Amanda Weir. And the winner for winter female athlete was none other than Kaylee Shannon.
Yeah.
And seeing her at practice every day and then at all the meets, I think she's somebody that's truly deserving of this award. Multiple times, it was a build-up to break those records I had mentioned earlier. So earlier in meets, she would beat somebody by 10, 15 seconds in some cases, get out of the pool, and then still be mad at her time because it wasn't that time that she wanted. It continued to push her all season, and she worked and worked, and I think she truly earned all of those records with her name on them, and then even now this award just to add to that very decorated list that she's accumulating here at Sterling.
Yeah, very good as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so in the male winter athlete nominees were Tony Klein for swimming and Antoine Arnett in boys basketball. And the male winter athlete of the 2019-2020 season is Antoine Arnett in boys basketball as a junior. We look for great things to come from him. So with these 2 male and female athlete of the season, they automatically go into the pool as to be recognized as athlete of the year. And so we'll hit that in our episode 4. So gentlemen, thank you for joining me for our winter show today. And we're going to be back later bringing spring and then the full year. So from Sterling High School, this is the Varsity Award Show, and so go Knights.